The latest The Big Bang Theory reunion reveals the harsh truth about the Pasadena gang 6 years after the sitcom ended. When the dust settled on the 12-season run of The Big Bang Theory in 2019, fans believed they were waving goodbye to a tight-knit group of gifted geeks who, thanks to science and sitcom magic, had become as close as family. The now infamous Pasadena gang, Jim Parsons Sheldon, Johnny Galecki Leonard, Kaylee Cuoco Penny, Simon Helberg Howard, Kunal Nair Raj, and Mayim Bialik and Melissa Roch Amy and Bernadette were supposed to be for life. The finale even ends at the familiar apartment in an intimate group meal, suggesting their friendships would simply carry on. However, as revealed by recent interviews and surprise reunions, the truth is more complicated and in some ways far more sober than the warm curtain call fans were led to believe. The facade of continued connection. On the surface, the reunion glimpse in Night Court's May 2025 episode seemed promising. Melissa Roch and Simon Helberg shared screen time again, reflecting real-life camaraderie. But behind the laugh track lies the reality. Many of the core cast members aren't staying in regular contact, and the gang has quietly drifted apart. According to a recent piece in Screen Rant, Helberg acknowledged that while the group had the strongest of bonds during filming, post-show life has normalized into separate paths. There's a certain bittersweet quality to this. The series finale seemed to promise togetherness, but the real-world update reveals something more mundane and perhaps more realistic. People change, priorities shift, and friendships don't always last forever. Why the disconnection happened? Several factors converge to explain the drift. Busy schedules. The cast moved into divergent careers, with Parsons stepping away from major screen work, Cuoco exploring other projects, and the others pursuing film, voice work, and side ventures. This naturally reduces the daily overlap that once bound them together. Geographic and life changes. With marriages, parenthood, and living in multiple cities, the logistics of staying close become harder. What was once a shared set becomes independent lives. Narrative closure versus ongoing reality. The show ended in a tidy narrative fashion, Nobel Prize, emotional acknowledgments, group meal, but real life has no final episode. The symbolic ending masked the fact that life continues in messier ways. Reunion ambitions versus realistic limitations. Rumors of a full-scale reunion of the Pasadena gang have circulated, and while there's excitement, nothing definitive has been confirmed. What the reunion actually revealed, the surprising cameo in Night Court, Helberg and Roch together, serves as both an emotional nod and a subtle acknowledgement. They are still in each other's orbit, but the others weren't part of the moment. That single pairing speaks volumes. The broader gang wasn't mobilized for a full-on revival, which underlines the reality that the original sitcom family isn't functioning as a cohesive group anymore. Moreover, in interviews, Helberg and others have admitted to less frequent interactions with some castmates. Screen Rant's piece points out that the emotional bond during the series was strong, but in the light of everyday life, that bond requires maintenance and shared physical proximity, which is harder now. Why this matters to fans? For decades, fans rooted for the gang's continued togetherness. The ending of the show left us with the idea, these people will still hang out. But now that assumption is shaken, the revelation touches several layers. Illusion versus truth. Just because on-screen characters end together doesn't mean real people will. It's a reminder of how fiction and reality diverge. Nostalgia's price. The comfort of believing in perpetual friendship may be comforting, but sometimes acknowledging divergence is more honest. Fan expectations. Many viewers hoped for a reunion special, or at least periodic get-togethers. This update tempers those hopes and reframes what reunion might mean: a cameo, a photo op rather than a full-scale event. Implicit message. For a show so rooted in community, intelligence, and friendship, this outcome is still bittersweet. The characters stayed together, but the people behind them drifted. The emotional undercurrents. There's a certain poignancy here. The gang once represented not only humor and smart jokes, but a stable group of lifelong friends. To discover that the gang of geeks has subtly dissolved is a blow to the sentimental narrative. But perhaps it is also more truthful. Life moves on. Friendships shift. Today's best friend may be tomorrow's distant memory. It also prompts reflection. The show's finale didn't show them splintering, but real life does. That doesn't make the show less meaningful. If anything, it makes it more powerful because it captured a moment in time. The reunion revelations remind us that its magic was fleeting, precious, and unrepeatable. What fans should take away: 1. Don't chase a full-scale reunion. The idea of all 7 core cast members assembling for a big event is increasingly unlikely. The cameo is nice, but it's not a revival. 2. Celebrate the legacy. The friendships on screen were real in their context. The years of filming, the shared jokes, the apartments and labs. Those things happened. What comes after is separate. 3. Let it evolve. Perhaps this is an opportunity to view the actors not just as the gang, but as individuals whose lives have grown beyond the set. 4. Adjust expectations. Instead of expecting the gang still hangs out every week, consider that life happens. Occasional reunions, surprise cameos, or even nostalgic mentions might be the new normal. 5. Appreciate the honesty. It's okay if the dynamic changed. Sometimes acknowledging that change is healthier than living in the illusion of permanence. In summary, 6 years since the curtain dropped on The Big Bang Theory, what seemed timeless, a group of brilliant, funny, forever friends in Pasadena, turns out to be more fragile than we thought. The recent get-together of 2 cast members, Roch and Helberg, offered a bittersweet hint. Yes, the friendships remain, but not in the all-encompassing way we hoped. The gang isn't gone, but it isn't what it was. The revelation doesn't tarnish the show. Instead, it adds depth to it. We loved the idea of the gang. The truth is that the show was the gang. After the cameras stopped rolling, life resumed in different directions. That's not failure, it's real. In the end, fans can hold on to what the show gave: laughter, science jokes, student t-shirts, the Nobel, and the warmth of a central friendship that lasted 12 seasons. And they can also accept what the reunion revealed. It was special then, and it's partial now, and that doesn't make it any less worth remembering. If you like, I can dig up all the quotes from cast members about their current relationships and map out who's staying in touch and who isn't. Would that interest you? 6 years since the curtain dropped on The Big Bang Theory, what seemed timeless, a group of brilliant, funny, forever friends in Pasadena, turns out to be more fragile than we thought. The recent get-together of 2 cast members, Roch and Helberg, offered a bittersweet hint. Yes, the friendships remain, but not in the all-encompassing way we hoped. The gang isn't gone, but it isn't what it was. The revelation doesn't tarnish the show. Instead, it adds depth to it. We love the idea of the gang. The truth is that the show was the gang. After the cameras stopped rolling, life resumed in different directions. That's not failure, it's real. In the end, fans can hold on to what the show gave: laughter, science jokes, student t-shirts, the Nobel, and the warmth of a central friendship that lasted 12 seasons. And they can also accept what the reunion revealed. It was special then, and it's partial now, and that doesn't make it any less worth remembering. If you like, I can dig up all the quotes from cast members about their current relationships and map out who's staying in touch and who isn't. Would that